a very happy new moon in Leo to each and every one of you. And I really do hope that it's a good new moon for you, because current mood, Marie's got a banging headache, but my heart is wide open. So it's a little bit of a 50-50 vibe right now. Actually, no, probably more about 70-30. 70 heart wins, 30 head hurts. So new moon in Leo. I mean, Leo, God, gotta love Leo. Lots of fire energy around. So this new moon has brought in a hell of a lot of anger within me and out there. It's been kind of quite explosive, actually. But listen, let's cut ourselves a little bit of slack, shall we? We've got a lot going on in August. Like, holy guacamole. We are like, we came in on the Lion's Gate. Then we were welcomed by the supermoon, full moon. And like, kind of spirit thought, well, you know what? They got stuff to do. Let's chuck them another full moon at the end of the month in the same month, make it a supermoon, give them 7 planets in retrograde, chuck a bit of that in there. Do you know what I mean? A new moon, which is coming through like a full moon. And then, of course, Lion's Gate, just a big dollop of that over the top, So, yeah, got a lot going on in August, haven't we? So no wonder you will be feeling a little bit discombobulated. However, I am here to bring life according to Marie, or the gospel of Marie, as I call it, how it's going on for me. And if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, leave the rest behind. So I'm going to dive right in with this, because this energy is still very divine feminine rising. That's why it's so chaotic, because it's bringing up a little bit of the old, a lot of the old way into the new way. So the new way is more sitting in stillness, silence, reflection, being a lot more peaceful about how you move about your day. The creation energy of being in that divine feminine is a lot more expansive. It's a lot slower. It's like a slow burn, but it's 10 times more powerful than just operating in your divine masculine, right? So it's less about the doing and more about the being. And in that energy, we're now starting to realize that we are indeed working at our optimal levels, being able to bring creations through effortlessly, easily, getting the answers to what we need to get the answers to without any arduous fight, right? But there's a lot of the old still leaving. So I'm going to start with point number 1, which is kind of where it came through today. It actually played out today, not in me and my husband. So as I was lying face down on my garden, okay, because that's what I do a lot now. I was starfish, like laying down, face down on the garden, pressing my heart on Gaia and allowing her to kind of feel my womb. As my husband looked on and was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, never mind, you wouldn't understand. Started to kind of like stamp forward into my space and start raging about he wanted to get this done today and this isn't happening. And he came in with his bull energy and his divine masculine. And I was all very priestessy. And I was like, oh no, honey, that ain't gonna land here. And I flicked my hair and I gave him the truth. And I just said to him, listen, we can't do this anymore. We can't, because obviously the energy, you feel a bit funky, don't you, when these powerful moons come in, so you feel a bit uncomfortable. So the want to get out of that is go to the gym. Let's go and hit it with a sledgehammer and go and do something that's going to make us feel incredibly achieving, meaning let's go fix that job that's been bothering me. Let's go and do that the other, that's the old way. So now what we're doing is we're trying to bring something into this very different way and making it fit. And we've got to make it fit because we've got to come out the end of the day feeling like we've achieved and we've done something. Very divine masculine. So that kind of like shone up bright for me. Now listen, let's not get it twisted. That's a lot of my shadow right there. A lot of us, right? And there I am kind of flicking the hair, saying to the husband, like, listen, you have to find in this day what fits better. Is it a day for doing that? Or could you rather put that down and look at something else? Do you rather need to go and take a chair and go and sit under the oak tree and find your peace and maybe read a book and then maybe go to the gym later? It's not completely about lying there and doing absolutely nothing. It's just about finding a different energy that fits for that day. And it's not always in the doing, right? Because I've now realized that when I let go of the doing, all of a sudden I can go and fix the curtains that are not looking so great in the lounge. I can go and get that plant pot from the garden nursery and come and bring it in the house, or go and get some new linen for the bed. All of these things never came as value to me because I was like, I'm not saving the world. I'm not on a mission. I'm not like, I'm not doing content or creating content. I'm not doing that. And then for me, that's where my value laid. And it was just kicking out the same divine masculine in the shadow. So now I've stepped back and I've kind of understood how the divine feminine can work through us in that manner. In the moment when that day is funky, it's asking yourself, I've written something down here. What is your day asking you for? what is your energy asking you for on that day? What does the day require? Is this a day for like, CrossFit or, going hectic gym programs? I would say my headache says not. You know what I mean? What is it asking you for? And take a moment to really go into that. You'll be surprised at the answer. And once you commit to that and you go, well, I'm going to go in that way, and you give yourself permission, your whole day will change. That is working with the new divine feminine. There is a little bit of a physical input that we need to do with this coming into this new way of being. This is all new moon stuff, right? Now, remember, the new moon, the Leo, and obviously the Lion's Gate and everything like that. It's all to do with the 8-8, right? Turn the 8 on the side, infinity symbol, okay? All connected to the Great Sphinx and everything like that. Spoke a bit about this in my other video. But the actual eighth dimension, there is a principle that is connected to that 8th dimension, which is connected to the Sphinx, which is connected to the infinity symbol, Lion's Gate, blah, 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 okay? It is actually acceptance of core power. Every year I speak about this because it really comes up, because Leo obviously is like finding your lion's roar. Do you know what I mean? Finding your strength and prowess. But let's not get it twisted. It's not about roaring the face off everyone and just like, whoa, and being out there and look at me, I'm being powerful. Look at the lions in the wild. I have been blessed to be able to observe this because I live in Africa. So of course, I've observed them in the wild plenty of times because it's on my doorstep. And they lie under the sun. When it's sunny, they lie under the trees and they just take their time. They only move when they really, really need to. They are efficient with their energy. They know when to go for it and go hunting. They know when to lie down and rest. They know when to drink water. They know when to play. They know how to move as a powerful pride/collective group, right? And they know how to be part of that, but they also know how to really go for it and do that roaring when it needs to be. But they're not on all the time. So really coming into the nature around you to understand deeply what these spiritual lessons are all about. Don't forget about nature. Don't forget about observing that bee that lands on the flower and how they move about their day. Even observe a cat in your garden. I have 4 Maine Coons. I do it all day. It's my favorite thing. And they just chill. Sometimes they sit there and they vibrate because they're shaking off any density that they don't need. And then and then they'll go hunting at night. You know what I mean? Whatever. But they really are efficient with their energy. So observe nature around you. Is going to teach you an awful lot, which actually hands us over to the divine feminine. You can only do that if you're being still and reflecting and so on and so on. Okay, so now building new pathways. This kind of brings me on to that, because in this new shift is going to take an element of you kind of working a little bit towards changing direction. So of course, changing direction from unhealthy habits is the masculine in the shadow, right? So this new moon, you're sat there going, right, okay, there's a brand new something coming up. I've now seen the light. I now know that the creation codes comes from me being more still and less doing. Whatever it might be, okay? It might even be like a fitness regime. It might be that you're actually just changing something really big in your life, maybe changing your friends. I don't know. That's all well and good, but you clear all your dodgy friends out your space. You still have to put a bit of work in to go and place yourself in certain places and situations to actually go and meet new people. So that's what I'm talking about here. It would be wonderful if we could say, oh, I've had the energy shift now, and then you just sit there like a big energy blob and it all just happens for you. Unfortunately, being Snow White, arms out, birds landing on your shoulders, I try it every morning, but it's not quite happened yet. It doesn't quite come to me like that. I have to still pitch up to the party. So this is what I'm talking about changing habits. And I'll use myself as an example. So I've come away from this powerful priestess experience that I had in Avalon. So much happened there. And now I've got to come back into my life and I have to embody it. So it's not just going to happen for me and I'm naturally just going to basically be this priestess living in the very hectic life that I have to sacrifice certain things. And I say sacrifice, I've got to lie some stuff into dormancy that perhaps I don't want to. Sometimes I get addicted to my busyness. I've got to sit there and really close on those addictions. So I now, every day when I wake up, I'm like, I can feel that I'm running old habits and I'm like, no, this is what we were doing before. I need to change it. What's the opposite to this? So instead of being at my computer for 12 hours a day, I kind of complete on a job and maybe work on something for 4 hours, leave the rest until the next day. That's finding the balance. Do you know what I mean? And it's also like going out and being disciplined. I'm going to use the word disciplined and committed to going out to my oak tree and having my meditation there before anybody gets hold of me, even my family, and doing my half an hour of yoga in the morning. Changing your morning regime is the most powerful thing to actually work with the new moon energies, right? In anything, actually. Changing your morning routine will change everything. No good putting in new habits at lunchtime, because the chances are, number one, you won't get to them, or number two, it's just like whatever, it's like really putting yourself first. This is what the new way is all about. So how can you carve out a little bit of time for you that is, all about you in the morning? Okay, your practice needs to be really, really grounded in the morning, because if you do that, then it opens the pathway for you to continue with that throughout the day. Doing it any other way is just going to be so arduous and hard, and unfortunately it's going to fit you up for failure and feed that shadow that you're trying to get away from, and you're failing nothing. You just need to choose you. Okay, so this is the new moon wishes. I choose me in every moment. You value yourself enough to give that time to yourself in the morning. It's important. And if you've got to get up an hour earlier, well, so be it. That's just the way it is. That's a sacrifice. Maybe your health will improve by getting up an hour earlier. You get the gist, right? So now I've spoken about acceptance of core power, but let's go into that a little bit deeper now. So here's the new moon coming in, and it's really like it's in Leo. So let's equate the new moon. We know new moon is all about new beginnings, all right? And it's all about setting brand new intentions, right? So what are those intentions all about? You can go on about like what you want to create and all the rest of it, but it's an inside job, okay? Because those creations can't come online unless we go back to the point I just spoke about. Being prepared to change things in your day and align with what feels really good for your soul, align with that divine feminine, align with doing less and being more, however that looks, and anchoring that in the morning. I can feel fear coming up as I say this out. Maybe it's my own. It's probably my own, but it's just like, God, I've got to let go of like having coffee in the morning. Oh shit, I've got to let go of just TikToking for an hour. Oh shit, you mean like no social media until like later. This is another thing. Social media. I'm on social media. Make sure you watch me, then put your phone down. There you go. Make sure I'm number one. No, I'm joking. But I have now started to read my spiritual books before I go to sleep. I always used to do that, but now I've started to slightly fall into bad ways. Leave your phone in the kitchen. Let it charge there. Go to bed with a cup of tea and do something different. Even if it's Netflix and chilling, do not go on your phone, because as you drift into astral, you take all that junk with you. All of these tiny little points about bringing bringing a space, creating a brand new garden for all of this powerful, wondrous magic and stars and abilities and godlike ascended mastery you've got inside of you, giving it a garden to grow in that is not full of junk, that is full of like rose gardens and beautiful plants and everything like that. Grow your garden in a good way and plant seeds in that environment. So clean your space. This is like major new moon talking today. I'm really getting on it now. I think Sekhmet's just joined me, FYI. So there we go. So now that's really, really important, these things. So acceptance of core power. That is accepting your core power. Taking your power back. Ain't no one take your power. That's what we always say. Oh, she took my power, or he took my power. You gave it away, hun. You just said, you know what? Like, I'm just going to fall into that. Because why? Don't value myself enough. Got to value yourself. This is what the journey is all about. Love you, boo, because that is the only way that we are going to move into the next level of heart consciousness living, where we get to have everything that we want, and we get to be with each other. No resentment, no frustration, feeling supported. Don't you want a little bit of that? Don't you? Okay, so now moving into the next point. Okay, so everything is divine. Okay, work with me here. Okay, like everything is divine, even down to, I'm going to say it now, these natural disasters. Well, they're not natural, are they? And I'm talking about the fires in Maui and places like that, and we've had fires here in Cape Town and everything. And you know what? Sabotage, whatever it might be, it's brought up a lot of energy with a lot of people and things like that, right? But you can actually, as a light worker, as a way shower, as a space holder, Gaia is calling us now to hold her space as she's always held ours. So we are being called to hold her space. How's about that then? alignment, because she needs the calm and the serenity and the really, really deep groundedness, which we have within us, to focus on what really is happening right now. She's birthing. She's going through a massive shift and transformation. There's some really cool light workers and channels out there talking about the same thing. I've been feeling Gaia calling me, come into the earth. She's saying, come into the earth. And I haven't quite known how I need to do that, but that's what she's saying. And I keep getting shown circles of people holding hands, and they come to me as stone circles, because they say in ancient mythology, all the stone circles are actually maidens that got turned into stone for dancing on the Sabbath, I think, whatever. But anyway, they are still beautiful beings that are stones. And I see those stones coming alive, and everybody's holding hands. And it's almost like that needs to come alive within us, that deep connection with the stars and the earth in our modern day living. Okay. And she's calling for us to come into that space. Don't get distracted with being pulled into the anger and frustration and the pain, because it's very overwhelming. And like, of course, you're going to get angry when you know somebody's purposely started a fire on beautiful Gaia. But we can't get into that right now. By us coming in and supporting her, we'll fix that, and we'll fix them, and we'll fix all of it. It's not out there where the fight and the war is. It's inside of you. And as soon as we address that, then all of that will actually come into alignment. So it's about your prayers. It's about you. It's about your ritual that I'm talking about. This is so flipping important. I'm talking about with this particular new moon, especially that it's in Leo. It's time to step up. It's not time to step up out there. It's time to step up for you, to step in, to claim you, because you have been waiting for you for eons. You've been waiting for you to notice you and say, yeah, you're a big damn deal. You need to be, you need to be acknowledged, loved, all the rest of it, because that is where your power is. So if you really want to change the world, you really want to change this craziness, bless everything. And I mean everything. Even that person that drives in front of you, you want to flip them off, bless them. And it's like it changes the energy instantly, because otherwise what happens is we get stuck in this perpetual cycle of resentment, anger. And I felt myself slowly slip as I came back from Avalon. And now I'm going back up, because I'm just like, well, that was a cock move. Bless you. And it actually changes me straight away. And I just bless. Even the house I'm living in right now, I don't love it anymore. It's cold, it's old, and I feel like I deserve something a bit different now, an upgrade. But I'm not going to shout at this house like I was before. I'm going to bless it and go, thank you for giving me glorious years here. And at least I have a house, I suppose, so like bless it, so everything in your life is divine. And if you bless it, you change the vibration instantaneously, and it will help you come back into the heart. Keep coming back into the heart, because that is the acceptance of your core power. We're talking Sekhmet. That's what she's trying to show you all along. Accept, harness your fires, harness your power, and then she will gently hand your hand over to Hathor, who is all about love, water, blessings, balance, dance, play, festivities, sacred sexuality, all of the rest of it, creation, so it's an inside job. So bless everything. I'm just seeing, I think I'm just going to leave it there really, because this is a very, very powerful video, in that it's time to, this is really going to mess your head up now. It's time to action through the stillness. It's time to action through the stillness. There it is right there. Quite a contradictory concept, but not when you are of the stars and the cosmos. We understand it, right? So there you have it. So I just want to share with you this card that I pulled. I've actually had it in my hand while I've been waving around, getting excited about everything. The Wellspring. This comes from Rebecca Campbell's deck. Always like to work with a card. Here's her new deck that's come out. Actually, really, really good. I mean, all of her decks are. She's a very, very powerful lady that lives in Glastonbury, and you are all familiar with her decks. A lot of you are, and her new one is just as potent as her others. The Wellspring. What are you thirsty for? Body care. Take a breath. So what this means, oh gosh, dropping the card. There we go. She's resting, but she's in the wellspring. And it's basically about, this card particularly for me is about choosing your battles. And it's just like, are you going to go out there or are you going to go in here? One is going to change everything infinitely and forever, and one isn't. It's just going to bring you much of the same. So the new moon is about making real powerful choices, conscious choices, and knowing that if you embody them and then action them through the stillness, everything will change. Absolutely everything. So that's your acceptance of core power. That's it and that's all, people. So I'm going to leave you with that. Now, if you've watched this far, so I always forget because I get run away with the energy. Talking about that, action in the stillness, the Heka codes. I have a group mentorship starting on the 9th of the 9th. 3 very, very powerful sessions. Heka's all over my channel, so you can go away and have a look at that. And I have 1 space left. I only take 7 initiates in one go. There's 1 space left. So here's the powerful thing I'm going to pitch to you. Are you the lucky number 7? Are you the magical number 7, the final member to come and join our group? It is 3 sessions. If you need to know more, you can email me and I'll pop that in the write-up. And yeah, it's a powerful time to commit to this kind of thing. This is everything. This is how I teach, this is how the Heka codes can help you. I mean, we bring in certain beings and gods and activate certain things to help you bring your divine masculine codes and your divine feminine codes together so they are harmonious, so you can create. Heka is magic and medicine. It's magic alchemy from Egypt. So, what's not to love? And if you're on my channel, you got a lot of that going on already. Anyway, love and light, y'all. Happy new moon, and I wish you as many blessings as there could infinitely possibly be, and I will speak to you super soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.